All right, what the deal, everybody? Welcome back to 2Rich2Miss Unscripted. It is Friday in the building on the East Coast, and it is Friday, October the 23rd, and we have another awesome show for you again today. The market is doing wonderful things, so let's hop into what we'll be talking about. We got Black Business shout-outs coming up. Well, we got regular business shout-out today. Not a black business, but it is a business that I use and that I do encourage you to support as well. So we are obviously going to be looking at the markets as we always do. Wonderful things are going on with Bitcoin, and we're going to be looking at DeFi. DeFi is up again. It's up again. If you saw yesterday's video, it is up from yesterday to today. And we will go through and be talking about MicroStrategy and how what their goal is to adopt the Bitcoin standard. We will be talking about Grayscale. They just added some more money to their Bitcoin, to their investment trust, an additional $30 million assets under management. And then we will be talking about a billionaire hedge fund manager tips Bitcoin as best inflation hedge. Somebody was just talking about that yesterday. Somebody, the hottest voice in cryptocurrency was telling you guys about that yesterday. Then we'll also go through and be talking about PayPal. PayPal is coming on strong. There's something going on over here in the world of cryptocurrency. And last but certainly not least, we'll go through and touch on a project that I do like and that I do hold a bag of coins of as well, and something that I would, that you should kind of DYOR into, okay? And that's going to be what we got going on for the show for you today. Looking at the markets right now, we are in the green. In the green for the most part, in the green really overall when you're looking at over the last few days. But let's go on and hop into our Black Business shout out. As I always like to remind you over here, DCA is the way, and the only real color that matters is green. Let's get it. Welcome to 2Rich2Miss Unscripted with your host, the Southern Urban Voice, Mr. 2Rich. And this show is about providing you with cryptocurrency and digital asset news, education, and tips that you can use as you take this wild and exciting journey into crypto. And as always, remember, the only real color that matters is green. Let's get it. 2021 is rapidly approaching, so I'm starting to prepare my business for the new year. Sometimes getting this started feels overwhelming, but QuickBooks has always made financial planning more manageable for me. Check out this step-by-step guide to help navigate end-of-year tasks, and use my link to try out QuickBooks at a discount. QuickBooks. All right, welcome back to the show, and let's hop right into the markets and talk about what's going on today. The big boy Bitcoin is doing what it do. We are right at about $12,866 right now. We have been going up above 13,000, coming back down, up above 13,000, going back down. That's been what's happening today. And when Bitcoin runs, Ethereum is not too far behind. Ethereum at $416 a day. Link, somebody was telling y'all about Link. Somebody, you know him. The hottest voice in crypto was telling you about Link starting to heat up as well. And we will be talking about Polkadot also as we go down. Now, one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, since I've been doing these videos, coming to you guys every day for about the last couple weeks. So let's go back 7 days. So let's just say you were listening to me for the first 7 days, for the first 5-6 days, and then didn't decide to get in until the next set of 7 days. If you got into Bitcoin 7 days ago, you would be up 15% right now. if you ran across me a month ago, and you got into Bitcoin a month ago, if you got into Bitcoin a month ago, you would be up 15%. No, that's not right. It took a while for that to update. If you invested in Bitcoin a month ago, your portfolio would be up 25% in the last month. If you invested in Ethereum, your portfolio would be up by almost 30% right now. Just saying, not financial advice, just showing you the numbers here. So, and we're just looking at the 1-day average right now. So, there's something going on over here. This is definitely one of the best opportunities, financially speaking, as far as getting in on the ground floor of some things. And speaking of getting in on the ground floor, DeFi. If you're watching my video yesterday, you will know that DeFi yesterday was about at $12 billion, and now it's about at $12.5 billion in total value locked. It's moving and going in the right direction. So, and if you remember my video from yesterday, from the day before, it was at 11 billion. So things are really moving up in the right direction in this DeFi world. I definitely encourage you to DYOR into the world of DeFi and get in where you fit in, because this is still a very small market. This segment of it is very small, and there's some good gains to be picked up over there. Let's get over here and hop into our first story of the day that we're going to be talking about. MicroStrategy CEO reveals BTC purchase is corporate strategy to adopt Bitcoin standard. Now, what does all of this mean? Now, the overall theme of this episode and what this all means is buy Bitcoin. Not financial advice, but if you want to see what the smart money is doing. MicroStrategy, for example, and as we talked about this before, he put $425 million into Bitcoin, and he plans to hold it for 100 years. Now, there's a few things that I want to point out here. One thing that I definitely want to point out here is his thought process, and a couple of these points really stick out and show you what he's thinking, and that he's thinking from a long-term perspective, which is one of the things that I encourage all of us to do. I mean, and I know those of us that are that's in my age range and in my 45 and up crowd, which I fall into, we need a hedge. So that as we're going through and as we're investing, or as we have invested, as some of the people that I know that have done extremely well and that have accumulated some really good money over in the stock market, you need a hedge so that as the dollar goes through its devaluing stage and phases as it goes through, and when the stock market takes this next dump that it's going to take here, we don't know when, but the stock market is going to take a dump. It happens. It's been going, it's at a high. When it goes to a high, there must be, it has to come down. It's just how the cycle works. So when the stock market takes a dump, what type of hedge do you have? Hashtag buy Bitcoin. Well, actually, hashtag DYOR into this space. Because what this guy is saying and what this guy is doing, he's put his $425 million on the line into this, because obviously he knows something that perhaps we do not know. And one of the quotes that I like, this is not a speculation, he says, nor a hedge. It is a deliberate corporate strategy to adopt the Bitcoin standard. Now, what does that mean? Let me put it to you in simplest terms. If you are moving around if you got that much money in Bitcoin and you need to move $1 million from your wallet over to somebody else at today's prices, that's not quite 10 Bitcoin. That's 100 Bitcoin actually. So if you're talking about moving 100 Bitcoin from one wallet to another, the fees of that are going to be minuscule, and it can be done whenever you want to do it, whenever you want to do it. And other than block time confirmations, this is something you can do and send around the world. But from a business and a corporate standpoint, if you don't want to be holding on to fiat that you know and that you can see is going to be devalued in one way or another, depending on how you want to think about it, one way or another, the value of a dollar, what we can get for $1 today is not going to be what we can get for $1 in 5 years from now. I mean, it is what it is. So this is simply just a way to be to maintain your wealth, and they're already up. You know, they got in at, I mean, good God, we've been reporting on this for over a month. So they got in way in. So they got in at, I'm sure they got in under 10 grand. So, you know, so he's already up almost 30% right now. And then, of course, we can go through and talk about his quote about gold, but this is my favorite one right here. This is my favorite quote of his, and this is something that we all need to be thinking about. He said, "I'm buying it for the dude that's going to work for the dude that's going to get hired by the guy who takes over my job in 100 years." Forward thinking and preserving wealth all along the way. Let's go into our next story. Bitcoin price bull run sees Grayscale Investments add $300 million assets under management in one day. One day they got $300 million. This particular article, and all of these articles, by the way, will be on my Twitter feed at 2Rich2Miss. Follow me over there and be able to catch these articles as well. What this means is simply this. And of course, we can go through and talk about all the wonderful things about that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Here's the bottom line. Institutional money is already over here. $300 million of accredited investors essentially put money into Grayscale's investments. $300 million in one day. So when I tell you that the DeFi market is still very small, and the DeFi market got about 500 million. 500 million additional, because they're at 12.5 billion in a day. They got $1 billion the day before. So in the last 2 days, the DeFi market in total value locked has accumulated $1.5 billion in money. And it's a lot happening over here. And the foundation is being laid. This is the time, if you're going to think about my neighborhood analogy, first you ride by and it's just a bunch of trees. Then you ride by and all the trees are gone. Then you ride by and you see the land getting prepared. Then you ride by a little bit later and you start to see the streets and the lanes being cut out for the streets to be laid. And you start seeing you start seeing concrete being put down and sidewalks and things forming. So the neighborhood that is the cryptocurrency space is being built, and there's money going in to take advantage and to get these gains that's going to be coming up for this growing market. And the question really remains and asked. The question really is, have you DYOR'd to see where you can fit into this market? Let's press on and let's drive this point home a little bit more. Billionaire hedge fund manager tips Bitcoin as best inflation hedge. Inflation is this. I've heard people call it the quiet tax, And I thoroughly agree, totally agree with that. And of course I might be quoting it wrong, but here's the moral to the story and the point. Inflation is the value of your dollar your dollar not being able to buy as much as it did. That same dollar that could buy 10 things can only buy 5 of those same things. Inflation is that dollar that could now buy 5 things in the future may only be able to buy 2 of those same items. We're talking about to really get real with it, we're talking about the price of our meat going up. We're talking about the price of gas always consistently going up. We're talking about just the cost of overall living going up. We're talking about, having to do extra things because our kids are now not in school. They're distance learning, and you have to work, so you have to hire someone to actually watch your children to make sure that they are doing their assignments online. You have to perhaps increasing all of your expenses, and they're eating more, and there's all of these extra things that are happening, and all of this stuff is costing more. So inflation is kicking in, and what do? Well, the smart money always looks and seeks to preserve their wealth, so they look for things that they can hedge. They look at hard assets. You're talking about gold, silver, Bitcoin, real estate, cash flow and real estate. And since this is a cryptocurrency news channel and a cryptocurrency news reporting station and show, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, DYOR, as the ticker is going all the way across the top of the screen here, DYOR, into some of the good projects out here. Everything is not good, but there's going to be some things that are going to be great, and the things that are going to be great are going to last. For example, let's talk about our PayPal thing that we were mentioning to you yesterday. Now, granted, yes, I did say don't buy Bitcoin from PayPal. Now, if you wanted to use your crypto on PayPal to actually pay, to buy something or shop somewhere, sure. But here's the thing that I want to drill home here. Mass adoption is well on the way, and anyone that can't see that is happening, and that digital cryptocurrencies, I have to be careful. I was about to say digital currencies, but digital currency is going to be what they do with the digital dollar and all of that. Cryptocurrencies over here is going to be the other side. And PayPal, they're jumping in, and they're going in, pretty much they're going to buy people. They're going to buy people, buy other companies, swallow other companies up, so that they can make sure that they have their place in this market and be able to service both sides. It's a smart move. I'm not mad at them at all. My thoughts is, why aren't more of these cryptocurrency companies that are out here coming out here and buying up some of these struggling, failing banks and swallowing them up to swallow up their infrastructure as well? But I get it. Well, at least for the sake of regulations and all of that, because the regulations and, doing it the right way. I mean, hey, it is what it is. We have to deal with the politicians and regulators and all of that to make sure that we can be able to really, really on-ramp the retail investor who's going to need their hand held when they come over here into this particular space. So PayPal is just another another sign that the neighborhood is being built, and the big money is coming in to make sure that they got their spot. So as I sit here and when I talk about these shows and I go through these things and I say DYOR, because I don't want this to say this can't be investment advice, because I'm not a financial advisor. None of us on these YouTube channels are, but we can spark the brain. We can spark that idea in your brain so that you can look and see what's going on over here and take advantage of the opportunity that is lying right before you. I mean, there's so many different options and ways that you can come out over with. You can come over here and get busy financially in a very conservative way or in a riskier way. Depends on what your tolerance is. So as I sit here and talk about PayPal going through and buying up another company, and as I talk about the billionaire that says that Bitcoin is a hedge, as I talk about MicroStrategy, and as I talk about the DeFi space, and as I talk about and as I show you the charts of what's happening and the prices going up and what's going on over here, I'm just reporting to you that there's opportunity going on. There's opportunity over here. There's a lot happening over here. And you can either DYOR and find out. You can listen to me as I report the news and pick up these clues that I'm laying out to you, and go and pick up the breadcrumbs and go run and benefit. Or you can be one of these ones that want to just sit on the sidelines until the very, very end. Once everything goes up to 30, 40, once Bitcoin starts getting to $30,000, $40,000 a coin, then my calendar will be totally full and my phone will be ringing off the hook, because they will suddenly be saying, oh my God, you've been talking about this for years. You've been talking about this for months. How do we do this again? How do I get in here again? What were you talking about before? So I'm just telling you now, it's look at what's happening. And I understand that it takes a while for people to really catch it, but the world of crypto moves pretty fast. So if you want to get on this train, the train is rolling right about now. Now, and speaking of the train rolling, one of the things that I definitely want to talk about here, one of the last things I want to talk about in today's episode, I always talk about Bitcoin, and I hint around Bitcoin and Ethereum a lot. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, but I talk about those because those are the ones that I feel personally that I invest in, that I feel like are going to be around, and I went over various reasons for that. Now, Polkadot is definitely another one of those ones that it's a project that's going to be around here for a while. And I encourage you to do your own research on Polkadot. Now, Polkadot is not something that I'm not sitting there saying that Polkadot is going to go to the moon tomorrow and you're going to 10x, 20x, 100x your money on it. I'm just saying that Polkadot is one of these platforms. They are built to last. Polkadot is built to last. They're building an ecosystem. They are working with Ethereum and Bitcoin. Their projects are, think of interoperability. And without getting too technical with my older crowd, they are going to be the ones. The Polkadot is working on making it easier for everybody to work together. And when everybody is working together, they're building the engine of the car. If I want to go to a car analogy, they're building the engine of the car. They're making Polkadot is that thing that helps the pieces all kind of come together and work together to build that engine that make that car and to make everything work together and function and go. So Polkadot is Polkadot is one of the ones that are doing some wonderful things. This article will also be there in the link and on my 2Rich2Miss Twitter feed as well. Polkadot is a great project, and I'm not being paid to talk about Polkadot. I'm not paid to talk about none of this content is sponsored. As a matter of fact, the QuickBooks is an affiliate. When you click on that, not only do you get up to 55% off, you support the channel as well. And more so than that, QuickBooks is something that I actually use. Polkadot is a project that I actually invest in with my own money. It's a project that I DCA into. It's one of my long-term holds, and I've been really cool with Polkadot so far. So Polkadot is another one of those things I encourage you to DYOR into, in addition to everything else. And even just looking at the chart, if we go, Polkadot is up about 1.4% today. Not doing too much. It's kind of, it's kind of quiet right now. But once again, this is a long-term project. I mean, even looking at over 30 days, it's not done too much. It's only up over 4% over the last 30 days. Long-term hold. This is a lot, Ed. They don't know. A lot of people don't understand what's happening with Polkadot and the value that it's going to really bring to the cryptocurrency space overall when it comes to interoperability and scalability. Oh my God, Polkadot, from a techie, Polkadot is going to be some good stuff. So I encourage you guys to DYOR into Polkadot, DYOR into this space in general. There's a lot going on and a lot of opportunities that are available. As always, DCA is the way, and the only real color that matters is green. We'll catch you on the next one. It's Friday. Take the weekend and DYOR and find your way and find your place in this space so you can get some of these sick gains. Peace.